Chapter 4. 4 Keys to Avoiding Marriage Problems. Satya, truthfulness. Satya means truthfulness, sincerity, responsibility, and a strong sense of trust toward one another. In analyzing household life, each member's sense of responsibility is the most important element. If we lack responsibility, the immediate result will be distrust within our family. By the same token, if we want to get married, the first characteristic that we should evaluate is our potential spouse's sense of responsibility. Both must recognize whether or not each will be responsible enough to assist with another family member's life, death, success, or failure. A person who is truthful exhibits responsibility in many ways. In speech, our words should always be truthful and often, even more importantly, kind. We should be careful with our speech, as even the hard truth can be unkind in certain situations. If the complete truth will hurt others and is unnecessary to disclose, then it is better to side with kindness rather than whole truth. At work, for example, a person who is trustful always pays attention to responsibility by successfully completing the task and doing so to the best of his or her ability. If they need help to complete the task, they will ask for help from the appropriate supervisor with respect, humility, and self-confidence. In making and keeping friends, we will be sincere and display no hidden agendas. We will be straightforward and unbiased. We will not show prejudice because of love, hate, stupidity, or fear. In moral standards, we must have a code that we can live by. It also means that we will not want to intentionally do something wrong against our religion, our culture, or against the laws of the country. Thus, we will naturally have a strong foundation in the Dhamma or truth. When we display truthfulness in these 4 areas, we will bring out the best in other people. Big punya. Dhamma. Self-control. The practice of self-control means that the body and mind are alert to our knowledge, ability, and integrity every day. Self-control can also be referred to as loving to train ourselves. In order to do this, we need a great mentor or teacher. The problem, of course, is how to find one. Not only must our mentor be suitably wise and willing to train us, but we must listen, analyze, and be willing to following their instructions. If we practice a wise mentor's teachings, then we will only improve. We will learn how to question our own thinking and actions until we create virtuous habits and consistently perform good deeds that originate from the heart and a clear mind. It is only then that we'll become the best possible person we can be. Khanti, endurance. Endurance is necessary in order to change ourselves. What exactly do we need to endure? We must endure unfavorable conditions in our physical environment, such as excessive heat, cold, sun, wind, etc. We must also endure personal physical suffering, illness, pain, and old age, without excessively whining or complaining. We must endure interpersonal conflict, which means that we must endure the defilements of other people around us. We must accept the fact that we have weaknesses, as our unmet desires often lead to dissatisfaction, sadness, anger, or loss. Weaknesses, both personal and interpersonal, create unavoidable conflict. If we always seek to avoid conflict with ourselves or with others, then we should analyze our own weaknesses and think twice before choosing a spouse. Without addressing our weaknesses, conflict can occur at any time. For example, prenuptial agreements can create stress and conflict because couples are prearranging a possible separation. Additionally, if there are in-laws heavily involved in our relationship, we will have to endure conflicts from them as well. No matter how good a relationship is, we will inevitably encounter conflict. Of course, it is better to resolve any weakness we think we might have prior to our marriage. It is like tongue and teeth. They always bump into each other. The real question that we and our partner have to ask each other is, are we sure that we can tolerate each other in the long run? If we are not sure, then we should run, not walk away. Do not ask how many carats there are in the engagement ring, how much money you will get, or how well your partner can cook. Instead, ask, "Are you sure you can tolerate me?" Endurance also means that we have to put up with our own kilesa, or negative behavior. Kilesa is dangerous to relationships because we allow these bad habits to control us so that we suffer and experience distress, leading us to feel guilty and self-critical. Some people are controlled by their bad habits and consistently make wrong decisions. In the end, they will no longer have any sense of right or wrong, morality or ethics, and may continue their bad habits until they develop possible addictions, which are even more difficult to correct. Abhayamukha is the word for the roads that we use when we allow bad habits to rule our life. The people we know while we travel this bad habit road may not be healthy for us because they may be spreading their bad habits out to us as well. The kilesa in their own mind control them until they become slaves to it. Because kilesa affect good habits, our family's health and stability depends on training ourselves too. 1. Control the bad habits within ourselves and prevent them from influencing others. 2. Resist the temptations of drinking alcohol, gambling, lazy work habits, interpersonal power struggles, harmful nightlife, and exotic entertainment. If we practice self-control in these areas, then our family's interpersonal relationships will be more stable and our own personal minds will strengthen. By doing this, we will increase the chance of stabilizing our financial situation. If everyone in our family can teach themselves to have endurance in these areas, then everyone's individual habits will improve and the family's financial situation will stabilize. Good people will be in our life and unhealthy people will stay away. Jaka, sacrifice. Sacrifice means charity, and it means compassion. We need to be willing to sacrifice material objects, comfort, and our own emotions. Sacrifice within the family means being generous, and it means placing our own family ahead of ourselves. This is not an easy thing to do. Our marriage is dependent upon the sacrifice that we and our partner are willing to give to one another. If there is no sacrifice, then our family environment cannot be supportive. If our family does not practice charity and compassion for the benefit of one another, and instead takes advantage of each other, our family will disintegrate. In other words, as a family, we must think more about the overall happiness of each family member rather than our own individual happiness. Part of this sacrifice, and one of the most important factors that we need to be aware of, is how to budget finances in our family. What the family needs versus what our family wants. If we do not do this, then our family will disintegrate. In the end, there will be the feelings that someone was taken advantage of and that someone was selfish. For example, in a two-person family with a limited budget, choosing between a bottle of perfume and a bottle of alcohol may cause conflict. A marriage is a life of budgets. Whenever we see luxurious items as necessities, our household budget will immediately suffer. This is exactly what selfishness is, and how to sacrifice needs to be implemented into our own family life. All that we need in order to sufficiently survive is found in the 4 requisites, necessities of life. 1. Clothing. 2. Food. 3. Shelter, housing. 4. Medicine, healthcare. Anything outside of this can be considered a luxury. Through sacrifice, we develop the habit of living only on that which is necessary. We should let go of the things that we feel we just need to have. When we are thinking about marrying someone, we should ask ourselves 2 questions. 1. Can we depend on this person when we are sick or in a life-threatening situation? 2. Does this person have the knowledge, the ability, and the good character to support our family so that it is happy? And can they help us raise our children to be respectful, moral, responsible people? Today, people tend to marry for personal needs. This causes so many problems after the marriage papers are signed. Not paying attention to the character of a partner will lead to a variety of abuses in marital relationships, and divorce will be inevitable. Marriage depends on individual sacrifice. Furthermore, when we have children, we must sacrifice even more because we must set aside time for our children, Thinking about this beforehand is vital, because it is certainly too late to think about all of this after marriage. Marriage, then, is not just about physical enjoyment, having fun, external beauty, or raising one's social status. It is about supporting our partner in mind and body. It is about character and sacrifice, caring for each other physically, including wise financial spending on household necessities and sharing, and mentally, consideration, support in times of crisis, honesty, lead to a healthy marriage and family life. Truthfulness, self-control, endurance, and sacrifice are at the heart of a healthy family life. These characteristics are the vital essence that each member of the family must have in order to establish a stable and powerful foundation on which to build their individual lives together.